Seriously?
Hey, how you gits? How are you all doing? 6 Plus Stevo here with a little bit of Orc news for you. I say Orc news, it's technically not really Orcs. It's not even for 40k. But having said that, it is greenskin related, and we do tend to look to the other game systems like Age of Sigmar and in this case specialist games for conversion opportunities and little ways to add variety to our force. And this bit of news comes in the Warhammer Preview 3. Of which I would say has been the most interesting one of all the previews so far. They've been a little lackluster in my opinion. It's a bit biased because it hasn't really been anything Orc related, so it is what it is. But anyway, let's scroll on and see what is in this article. So it starts off, welcome to the third incredible online preview. Sit back and prepare to be amazed by new models, expansions for your favourite games, and peeks at new Warhammer media. We'll be rounding up all the reveals right here as they happen, and you can watch all the action live on Twitch now, complete with blah blah blah. You get the idea. So what we got first? We have some Warhammer Age of Sigmar, which is the new giants, and this isn't why I'm making this video, but we will take a quick look at it because these are very cool. I remember the old giant they had, which was a fantastic miniature. I had that in my Goblin army for Warhammer Fantasy back in the day, and he was cool. But jeez, these guys do look really impressive. I love the way they're sort of misshapen. The proportions are off, but it adds to their sort of grotesque kind of freakish nature. They've got really, really big thighs, big chunky legs, massively oversized feet, and then sort of fairly small torsos and stuff, which I just think adds to their sort of awkwardness, but kind of makes them more terrifying. And yeah, they are very impressive and huge as well. Huge. I really like that one. Oh my word. They look awesome. Very, very cool. Very cool indeed. And you can feel the whole army of them now. Not my sort of thing. I don't really like the whole army of just a couple of huge miniatures. I prefer an army to be, an army. I prefer giants to be like a complementary monster within your army. But they're cool miniatures nonetheless. And yeah, you can see. And this miniature was already big anyway. And yeah, they're huge. But anyway, we've only got some Blackstone Fortress news. Yeah, not remotely interested. They look quite cool. Scrolling on, Warcry again, not remotely interested. That looks pretty cool. Let's have a quick ganders. Yeah, cool. Yeah, nice. Let's move on. Yeah. Moving on. Here we are. Blood Bowl. So, Blood Bowl on very hard mode, this article is called. Is Blood Bowl too easy for you? Are even your halfling and goblin teams stomping all over the opposition? Time for a new challenge. Blood Bowl Snotlings. So, yeah, there we go. Let's take a little look at this. Very cool trailer, very cool trailer. And it says, no, you're not hallucinating. Those are Snotlings, a team of Snotlings. Sure, they have a pump wagon, and sure, there are loads of them, but they're Snotlings. They make goblins look fierce, and halflings seem thoroughly athletic by comparison. And yeah, let's just take a closer look at some of these dudes, because these are really cool looking miniatures. Very cool indeed. Yeah, even the scale creep has happened with Snotlings, because these seem a little bit bigger than sort of Snotlings of the past even. But yeah, they're very cool. A little guy there with his little trumpet thing and his hat, and yeah, I like them. I love this guy. I love this guy with the mushroom, with his crazy eyes. He would have been great actually on the base with my recent Weird Boy I've done with all the toadstools and that round him. He'd have been a great little companion piece to him. I love the little wizard one as well. So cool, so cool. They got so much character to them, and I just, as soon as I saw these, I just thought these would be fantastic for, you know, converting up a little bit. Some of them you wouldn't need to do much with, like this guy. He could go with anything really, but just a little bit of converting stuff. You could find some uses for these. These could be your little ammo runts. You could just decorate some bases with them, add a little bit of personality, have them climbing over your vehicles and stuff. This guy lobbing the thing there, the whole grumpy looking fella there. He looks quite cool. I like him, with his huge sock. So yeah, I just think these are cool. This guy on the toad on the stilts there, he's got one twig and a stick there with a boot on it, and trying to get himself some extra height. Very cool. One with a sock on his head there, jogging along. This is cool. They just look fun, you know. They look really fun. And then of course you got this, the Snotling Pump Wagon, which is a classic from back in the day. And it's cool to see it make a return here in this form. And it's got a lot of, you know, it's got a lot going on here. Got the little dude on top with his slingshot, dude hanging off there, and the dude attempting to drive it, like pumping it. And it just always reminds me of, if anyone's ever seen the movie Labyrinth, when the goblins are going down the tunnel on their like sort of pump wagon thing. I can't remember what it's called. Big drill thing that cleans the tunnels, and when you see it from the back and they're pumping away at it, it sort of reminds me of that. So they got some sort of beer keg on there as the sort of death roller type thing. I don't know what size base that's on. It doesn't look like it's very big, because he's only Snotling, so but very cool, very cool. It says, we'll level with you. You're probably not going to win all of your games with them, but you are going to have so much fun. And yeah, you will. And that's the purpose of, well, that was the purpose of a goblin team before, wasn't it? Or a halfling team. But with a Snotling team, yeah. But for me, it's not so much looking at these in terms of Blood Bowl. It's just looking at these for just cool miniatures, and just like if you're doing Age of Sigmar, then these will go great in your Age of Sigmar with 40k. Some of them need a little bit of work and tweaking. It might be a bit more tricky to sort of work them in. But even then, I think even like with this guy, there's scope to have him like with your Weird Boy or something, you know, as like a little mascot on the base with him and stuff, and it just add a bit of variety. Like both of these two, you could stick both of them two on a base with a Weird Boy, and it would look really, really cool. I like the idea of dudes like this sort of on the base with my war boss, sort of like my Bad Moon war boss, and he's got sort of trumpeters announcing his arrival because he's so grandiose, and you know, just things like that. It just it's filling me with inspiration, and I'm looking at each one going, what could I do with that one? How could I use that in my 40k orc army? But regardless, yeah, they're just really cool. It's cool to see the Snotlings get some love, because yeah, we haven't had sort of many ways to get hold of a lot of Snotlings previously, but yeah, very, very cool. I like them a lot. And then in other news, we've got Soul Tarvitz from Horus Heresy, which I'm not going to say anything I'm going to say. I really like this miniature. He's really cool, and one of my favourite characters from the books. So it's cool to see him get a miniature. And yeah, I really like that. I've got a bit of a hankering for Emperor's Children. They are a cool faction. Yeah, I like that miniature. But we're not going to stick around on that too long, so that's not why we're here. The Psychic Awakening, Pariah, we see that we're not getting Pariahs back. Sorry, Nick. It's a shame, but they are getting this. This is Siraz. Has been upgraded, and yeah, new miniature for him, which I think is very cool. I like what's going on down here. It's sort of sucking the sort of energy out of him into his thing, and yeah, it's cool. It's a cool pose, cool looking miniature. And yeah, I'm sure the Necron players are absolutely loving that. That's very cool. That's very cool. Good to see the Necrons get some love. Goes over his powers and stuff. We got this Inquisitor fella. Fella? Is it a fella? Is it a lady? Don't know. Who is it? Grave Horus curse. Appears ill prepared for a resurgent Necron. Oh no, Inquisitor Kyria Draxus. Yeah, I think it's a female. Meh. It's quite cool. I like the dragon. The little dragon pet thing. That's cool. And the shoulder pads. Got an Eldar weapon there. Yeah, cool. I'm sure there are other channels that aren't dedicated to orcs that have covered this in much more detail and are gushing over it. Yeah, it's quite cool. I like. Not really my cup of tea, but cool. And then it goes on some more stuff for Sisters of Battle. Meh. And a Space Marine Terminator Librarian. It's quite cool. I've got to say, actually, for someone that has no interest in Sisters of Battle, that is a fucking stunning miniature. That's astounding. That is definitely, without doubt, the best Sisters of Battle miniature I've ever seen. That is very cool. She looks like an absolute badass. I love how they've recaptured the... That's so cool. That is a really, really nice miniature. I love that pose. I even love the fire on the base. Like, damn, that's cool. There we go. So, but yeah, anyway, a little skim over the stuff. If you're interested in any of the other non-orc stuff, then go on and have a look at the article for yourself. But yeah, we're here just to gush over these awesome looking Snotling Blood Bowl Team, which is just very, very cool. But there you go, guys. Anyway, this wasn't the video I intended to make this evening. I had a completely different video in mind, but I will film that one in a later date because just as I was preparing to sit down and shoot that, I saw this and I thought, well, I've got to cover this news because it's very cool and some people might not have been aware of it because it wasn't really mentioned in too much detail until you get into the article itself. But I think a lot of orc players are going to be looking at these and wondering what conversion possibilities they have or what customization they can do with these and add them into their army. And if that is you, then please share in the comments and let me know if you fancy picking up some of these or working with some of these and what you would like to do with them, because I see a couple in there that I would quite like to add to my faction, just as decoration more than anything. But yeah, very cool. But for now, guys, for this news video, this is 6+ Stevo signing out.